I am here to talk to you about how to hear God with clarity. And some of the things that we want to go over is always the Word of God. And so the first one, as you look on the screen here, you will see that hearing God in John 10:27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And Psalm 85:8, I will hear what God the Lord will speak. And in Psalm 119:170, deliver me according to thy word. So we know that we have the mind of Christ. We also have Christ who lives inside of us. And so we know that we can hear the Lord clearly. What are the things that hinders? That's a very good question. A lot of the hindrance of hearing God is mostly because of us. And so let's go take some examples. Number one, distractions. So in distractions, you will see that the number one is busy, 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 busy. We have such a busy schedule. We can all relate to this busy life. And so we tend to not have any time, and therefore you won't be able to hear God clearly. The next one is if your mind is focused, whether it's focused on work, whether it's focused on somebody that you love and you're infatuated about, whether it's focused on something that you've invented and created, but anything that is, your mind is just consumed to the point where it's even obsessed. The other thing that I found in a lot of healing session is lack of sleep. If you lack sleep, you're not vigilant, you're not diligent, and therefore you're not alert and awake to be able to hear God. You'll probably be just too tired in a very spiritual manner as well as physical. And then the next one, of course, we all know social media, one of the biggest distraction now here on this world, as well as entertainment. Work has always been a distraction for everyone, family members, friends, pets, and if certain hobbies. But the main thing to ask yourself is, what is it that these distractions, what do you consider a distraction? And if you look, it would be, if it's not sent by God, then it is a distraction. So what does that mean? So even if you have a family member that needs your help, let's just say, you have to know, what are you truly sent for? If you're sent to do a talk at a ministry and a family member all of a sudden becomes sick or something that they need, you do have to know, what is my purpose in that day? Because someone else may be sent for your family member, and maybe that's the way the enemy is trying to keep you from speaking in this ministry. That's just an example. But be very clear in what the Lord has purpose and plans for you. But the number one hindrance of hearing God, this is what I've seen in all the healing session, is desire. As we slide through, you will see that desire is the number one. Desire of self and others. So what it is that we have to submit our desires to God first. He loves to hear what we desire. He wants to be involved in what we truly have in our hearts. But we do have to submit that in order to hear him. And then once we submitted all our desires to God, we can let go and let God. And then for God will not compete with you if you hold on to those desires. So the Lord, if you hold on to what you want, if you hold on to your desires, you're not going to hear him. And that's the number one, that when people call me and say, I just can't hear God, could you hear God for me? And sometimes, yeah, it's nice to go to a brother and sisters who doesn't have any bias, who doesn't have any opinion. Probably strangers are also good because they don't know who you are. And in that context, you can finally find truth. But if your desire is louder, God will not compete. He will not compete with you. So it's important to be very, very open and let go and let God once you submit your desires. Blessings.